welcome to another episode of The Gray Matter. I just wanted to take a minute to talk about the Trump Muslim ban and some of the other things he's done this week. Steve Bannon may be an evil bastard, but he may be a genius, because the only way I could think that he could get all these crazy nominations he's made through the Congress easily is if he were to do something like write a bunch of executive orders to take away all the resistance's attention. Think about it. If we're too busy protesting at airports over the Muslim ban or protesting at DAPL over those executive orders, where's the energy to call the senators and put pressure on people not to nominate the people who he's put forward? Betsy DeVos, Rex Tillerson, etc. I think that this Muslim ban is a tactic of distraction, which is working all too effectively because everyone's so concerned about that while letting everything else go through. My curiosity is, where were these protesters at when Obama was bombing 7 countries and creating millions of refugees, which are now a problem in the first place? While we need to stand up and say that the Muslim ban is bad, it's not exactly consistent because Obama had a similar slowdown of immigration in 2011. People like to say that, it's different because Trump gives Christians a pass or priority, as he puts it, when I'm an atheist, or more appropriately phrased, anti-theist, and I could give a fuck about any of the religions. So, setting that aside, it's essentially the same. And I mean, what is the point in fighting something which inherently, in the way the executive order is written, is temporary in the first place? These cabinet appointees could be there for years, maybe even the full 4 years that he's going to be in office. That is, if he isn't impeached, but that's another discussion for another time. You realize that we're fighting an executive order and wasting all this energy on something that's going to last like 90 to 100 days, if I'm remembering correctly. All the while, all these unexperienced people are entering in the highest offices in the different sectors of government: transportation, education, energy, etc. So I think it's time that we all stop and realize what the real battle is here. It's a shame that Muslims are being stopped at the airport and that there are, 109 people detained at the LAX and 90,000 people affected overall by some estimations. Yeah, that's a real shame. But if you think about the millions of people who are going to be affected by these cabinet choices, particularly the millions of children affected by the fact that Betsy DeVos doesn't believe in public education and will subsequently tear everything down and ruin the educational standards for potentially an entire generation, I think we need to think more critically and realize that we're being played. These executive orders are deliberately a distraction, and we're all playing into their hands. That is, if this is all intentional. Trump is an idiot, and it very well could be that he's just doing this, and it just so happens to be a perfect strategy. But somebody in his team got him elected, which makes him a master strategist, because he was the most unpopular man ever to run for office. So given all that, I genuinely think that these protests and what we choose to protest about is actually harming our true goal in mitigating as much as we possibly can of the Trump presidency. So far, the Democrats have failed to hold up any resistance to the nomination, and that's why we need as much of our power as possible to put pressure on Democrats and Republicans alike. I've heard people tell me that the Republican nominees are going to go through no matter what we do because they have the majority. They don't have that much a majority. If we did what did what's best and applied pressure to 2, 3, 4 different Republicans, we could peel off enough of them that we could stop these nominations. You know, people have also said to me as a counter-argument, oh, if we stop the nomination of one, they'll just find someone else with the same beliefs and we end up with effectively, you know, same policy, different face. And while that's possible, that's why we need to continue to fight and show them that it's not the face we have a problem with, it's the policy. So if we effectively resisted, you know, 2 different nominations for the same position, they would start to change their tune. That's just my opinion. Go ahead and tell me what you think, if I've got this wrong, if I'm overestimating the Trump team's intelligence and their ability to manipulate us. I mean, I don't think I am, considering how effectively they manipulated the media for almost 2 years in getting him elected in the first place. I think we have to be careful about where we unify our energies, because, you know, these guys might be playing some mastercraft political jujitsu here, so yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for today. Thanks for watching this episode of The Gray Matter. If you like what you see here today, please like and subscribe, and remember, sharing is caring.